Hello, and thank you for coming to the McWaters Effect. I'm your host, Matt. Today, we're going to be talking about how I think free speech is dying in America. But first, I need you to hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Now, let's get on with the show. Now, this episode is going to be about stories that are going on in the national media when it comes to what's going on in Arizona with the election audit that's going on there, and Trump being involved in it, as well as a judge saying due to his rhetoric, he could cause more violence speaking. And a few other stories that have things to do with free speech and them trying to shut up Donald Trump for good. So let's take a look at the first story. Former Republican House Speaker on dishonesty of Trump's big lie. Now that's John Boehner. And he's going on all the networks to promote his book that's coming out and how he believes that Donald Trump is lying about him, the way he lost the election in 2020. And how he's promoting that and it is causing issues with violence on the right and so on and so forth. In my opinion, John Boehner needs to go back into his little crevice where he came from and stay. Because he's been out of the politics for over, 5-6 years? And no one cares about what he thinks. And he's a rhino anyway. No one wants to have anything to do with the guy in the Republican Party anymore. Pressure on big techs from Republicans is working. And they're talking about the pressure that Republicans are putting on big tech to reform their platforms to allow people to have more freedom of speech on them. I'll be honest with you, I don't see it, how they have changed at all. Are they afraid of the Josh Hawley proposal that's in Congress right now? I'd say they are, but which one are they more afraid of? The woke mob or Josh Hawley's proposal? I'd say the woke mob they're more afraid of right now. I'd say they're going to keep on doing what they're doing, limiting free speech on these platforms until finally the Republicans have the House, Senate, and the presidency, and they have to go after them for antitrust laws, which won't happen for a while for now. That's if they win the Senate and the House 2022 and win the presidency in 2024 and still have the Senate and the House. Now here's the first story when it comes to the Arizona voting audit. Arizona AG rejects officials' call for probe of voting audit. Arizona's Attorney General has brushed away the state's top election officials' call for an investigation into possible irregularities in the legislative chamber newly began audit in 2020 election results from the state's most populous county. Democrat Secretary of State Katie Hobbs on Friday cite media reports of security lapse at the audit site and that the auditors plan to question Maricopa County voters at their homes. But Republican Attorney General Mark Perlevich later Friday said Hobbs provided no facts to warrant an investigation. Valid complaints will be investigated, Perlevich wrote Hobbs in a letter. Any such complaints, however, must be based in credible facts and not conjecture of politics, he said. My question is, why don't the Secretary of State want to have this audit? I mean, it's not like you could change the election. Election's done. It's over. You can't overturn an election when the president's already been in there for 4 months. Can't happen. It's already been certified. Nothing's going to change. Now, and at the same time, why is the Attorney General spending this kind of money in order to look into something they can't change anything? The only thing I can think of is they're looking for ways to stop chances of any election fraud if there was any. But as far as I know, there wasn't. So I don't know. It seems like a waste of time on both sides on it. But if they want to do it and they want to spend the money, hey, that's their business. The state has a right to do so. And the Attorney General, he's the one that looks into stuff like this. So, but you have to ask yourself, why don't she be against doing this? If there's nothing to it, it's going to make him look like a fool, and more likely he's going to lose re-election in his next election for wasting money and wasting people's time and doing the voting audit. So politically, it makes sense to actually let him do it, but she's completely against it. So it kind of makes you wonder. GOP-backed recount of Maricopa County ballots appear to be on track to move forward after initial pause ordered by Arizona judge. An extensive effort to recount ballots from the November election moved forward in Phoenix on Friday as the private vendor hired by Republicans and the Arizona Senate began reviewing nearly 2.1 million ballots cast in the state's largest county. Like I said, I'm not sure why they're doing this 4 months after, why they didn't do it before. But I know when it comes to election law in Arizona, if you aren't like below a certain percentage, they won't do a recount. I think it's supposed to be 500 votes, which is when it's a nationwide election. That's insane. Something like the presidency, I think it should be more like 20,000 votes. If you're under 20,000 votes, you should have a recount automatically. But in Arizona, the way their laws is set up, if it's under, it has to be under 500 votes. For some reason, GOP has backed this recount in order to figure out if the law, I think it's in order to figure out if the law in Arizona needs to be changed when it comes to countrywide elections, like the presidency, which it does need change. And they want to see if they're right, and it was actually closer than Arizona, what the count at the end of the 2020 election says it was. I don't think Trump won Arizona, but I think it's closer than what they're saying. I believe in Arizona, he lost Arizona by what, 12,000 votes. I'd say it's probably around 8,000 he lost by. But I could be wrong. The thing is, you're not going to change the election results. It's not going to happen. And I don't have a problem with the Republicans deciding to do this. It seems Democrats do. Make you wonder, why would you have a problem with them doing this? It's not like it could change who's going to be president. I mean, you can't overturn an election when it's already been certified and the president's already been put in place. Can't happen. So I don't understand why Democrats would even care if they're doing this. Who gives a shit? They're doing this to see if they need to fix that particular law in Arizona, I believe. But I don't know, I might be naive. Who knows? Trump calls for Arizona Governor Ducey to provide security for patriots conducting election audit. Former President Trump demands the Arizona Governor Doug Ducey provide large-scale security for the state Senate Republicans who are carrying out a hand recount of all the 2.1 million ballots from Maricopa County. Okay, I guess that's fine. I don't care. But the thing is he's going to be spending a lot of money that's not really going to change much. And my question is, why do you need a large-scale security? What for? Who do you think is going to actually stop this from happening? Secretary of State already tried, didn't happen. And a judge already tried it and didn't happen. No one else is going to try. Democrats are going to allow you to do this. I don't see them being able to stop it or try to change the outcome of the count. Not only that, I don't see the count really changing all that much. I mean, it might change by a couple thousand, but still, that still means Joe Biden won. Even if, let's say, they find enough votes where Trump won Arizona, Biden still won the Electoral College no matter what. Not that I'm against them doing this. I'm just speaking the truth. It's not going to change much. Now, they can actually change some election laws in Arizona where you don't have to wait till 500 votes to actually do a recount. You know, make it more like 20,000 votes. That would make more sense. Now, here's another article. CNN. Trump supporters could be incited to future violence by his continuing promotion of 2020 election lies, DOJ and judges say. Former President Donald Trump continues to promote the big lie about the 2020 election, could still incite his followers to violence. The Justice Department and judges note repeatedly this week as the court weighs the future of dangerousness of U.S. Capitol riot defendants. First thing, Donald Trump, as far as I know, still has the right for freedom of speech. And so does most of the other Americans in the United States. It's not like it matters. I mean, he can't go on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube say anything. And he doesn't go on any of these other platforms to do it. So I'm trying to understand what the problem is here. In his opinion, he believes he did not lose that election. Do I disagree with him? Yes. I believe he lost. But do I think he's responsible for what a group of people did at the Capitol when they riot like that? No. He did not tell them to go riot. He told them to march and protest peacefully. You could see that in the speech he made. And now they're actually pushing the idea of containing his speech more and more. And it's just not the media that's doing it. Now it's just the Justice Department and judges trying to do it. If they're able to do that to a former president of the United States, you think they're going to have a problem doing it to someone that's not as powerful, that's not a billionaire, someone that's in the middle class or poor, or even another rich person? No, they're not going to have a problem doing it at all. Hell, they did Steven Crowder. They're going to keep on doing it to these to right-wing commentators. They're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. They're going to keep on pushing that. They're going to say you're throwing out disinformation, when really you're telling the truth. You're speaking truth to power, and Democrats won't stop that. That's the reason they went after Newsmax, OAN, and Fox News, because they're alternatives to MSNBC and CNN. They have a contrasting opinion on political matters. That makes them dangerous to the establishment. That's why I'm saying, when the media has been corrupt so much, they have joined forces with big tech, big corporations, and Democrat Party. Free speech is dead, or at least on life support. I mean, the establishment is so afraid of Donald Trump. They're trying to make it where he can't run in 2024. They've been trying to do everything they can, everything from tax evasion with him to embezzlement to name it. They're trying to do whatever they can. Nothing of it's sticking because none of it's true. So now they're trying to actually shut him up more by trying to say he don't have freedom of speech. And it's the Justice Department and the judges trying to push this narrative, saying he's inciting violence. That's a European way of distinguishing freedom of speech. We're not Europe. We're the United States. The only time you don't have freedom of speech is when you say in a crowd, fire, stuff like that. Going on TV and saying you believe that the election was stolen from you is not the same thing as saying fire in a crowd. The two are completely different. But yet you have a judge, or judges, and the Justice Department trying to say he's committing a crime by doing so, or at least trying to make up a crime for doing so. If they're able to do that, what's going to stop them from being able to do that to normal people out there that just states facts? And it's because the people in power don't like the facts. They shut them down and put them in prison. What's going to stop them from doing that? If you allow them to do that to a former president of the United States, nothing's going to stop them from doing that. Alright guys, we're at the part of the video where I do quote of the day. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Quote by Thomas Jefferson. Alright guys, thank you for watching the video. Please come back. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Please share the video. Helps the channel grow. Peace.